So I may or may not have left the freezer on all night. And it's saying it's at 2 degrees, but I just find that quite hard to believe. What's going on, guys? It's Vaughn here from Body Elements, and today I'm going to go through my 1 month experience of doing daily ice baths. First of all, why the hell would I do this? Well, there are multiple benefits to cold therapy. The physical benefits can include an improved metabolism, a stronger immune system, improved blood circulation, more brown fat cells, which are the fat cells that protect you from cold, not the ones that build up around your tummy, and improved sleep. And the mental benefits can include reduced anxiety and depression, increased mental resilience, improved patience and calm, and reduced stress and anger. So with science suggesting all these benefits, I thought I'd put it to the test and see what an average person can gain from consistent ice baths. The ice baths are going to be performed in a makeshift chest freezer. We'll go into later in this video how the chest freezer works. With the temperature of the ice bath, I'm going to try and keep it at 4 degrees. It is said that going below 4 degrees doesn't really pose any extra health benefits, and 4 degrees is roughly the temperature that you'd get in the water of a frozen lake. So it's the best we can simulate in a hotter climate like Australia. The water in the freezer tends to start freezing over when it goes below 4 degrees as well, so that can be quite an inconvenience. The method to follow for ice baths is typically stay in for at least 3 minutes and make sure your heart is submerged. So you want the water sitting at about this level. With that all covered off, let's get into it. Day 1 of the 1 month ice baths. Beautiful weather for an ice bath, pissing down with rain. Sitting at about 3 degrees. Wish me luck. So that's officially 7 days of ice baths. The big thing I've noticed after the 7 days is my stress has decreased a lot. Just small things like road rage and finding calm in certain situations, that's definitely improved. During the ice baths, I've noticed my extremities have hurt a lot, so my fingers and toes are killing during the ice baths. The other thing I've noticed is it takes about 90 seconds to get into a real calm state. That's the initial shock phase. After doing it for a week, it doesn't feel like it's gotten a lot easier, so I haven't adapted too much, but at the moment I'm doing about 15 seconds more each day, but I think I'm gonna have to up that to about 20 seconds more each day because I have a goal of getting to about 15 minutes by the end of this month. Stay tuned for the second week. So I may or may not have left the freezer on all night. And it's saying it's at 2 degrees, but I just find that quite hard to believe.
5 hours later. Much later.
So we're about 2 weeks in, the ice baths are still freezing cold. Stress levels are still low. Sleeping quite well. As I go into these longer holds, the first 6 minutes are definitely feeling easier. So if I jumped in and just did a 6-minute one now, that would feel far easier than what it would at the start of the first week. So definitely some physical adaptation there. And it's starting to get a bit easier just to step in. Like the initial shock is starting to reduce in time. Before it was about 90 seconds, 2 minutes. Now it's maybe 30 seconds. The bath is getting a bit murky, so I might have to clean it soon. I'll see you guys at the 3-week interval. I'll just run you guys through how the ice bath is set up. So this is just a regular chest freezer, it's higher. It's a 320 litre one, and I just fit in it, but I'm pretty small, I'm about 5'8". But the guy I bought it off Gumtree, I got it for about $4.50. He'd already sealed it. He'd bought it brand new and just sealed it himself. What you do then, to keep it cold, you'd have to plug it in for about 2 days, 48 hours, to get it down to about 4 degrees. But what I've got here to keep it cold is a timer switch. Now the timer switch you can set, I've got it on about an hour and a half twice a day, so an hour and a half at about midday and an hour and a half in the middle of the night that I get set up for. And that will keep it cold, usually around 4 degrees, depending on how many people jump in and out of the freezer. And then, I think I showed this earlier, but what I've been doing is just chucking about a kilo of salt in with all the water to keep the water fairly clean for a while. So we've just passed the 3-week mark here at Ice Bath Central. I started to try a couple of different things, like the Wim Hof breathing before the ice baths. I found the breathing made the experience a bit more intense, made the body feel a little bit lighter. You're almost more in tune with your body during the experience. During the 3rd week, the baths are honestly starting to feel a lot easier, so the body's starting to physically adapt now. There was one thing I noticed during the very long holds that I'm not sure a whole lot of people would experience, because it was after about the 10-minute mark that the body just started to feel very, very numb and euphoric, like it was a really good feeling. The pain had pretty much all gone away, and the body felt like it was becoming the water, which just sounds kind of cheesy, but it's a very, very peaceful experience at that point. Let's see how this last roughly 10 days goes, and see if we can't get past 15 minutes. So we've had the bath full for about 3 weeks. It's looking a bit manky now. Got to empty all the water out and get it nice and fresh for the last 10 days. I'll get the clean water in there and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, we're going for the 20-minute ice bath. Wish me luck, and I'll see you on the other side.
How you feeling?
Really fucking warm actually. Be good if you could drop some more ice in here. Starting to feel actually quite warm in some of the bits that are usually cold, like the hands and the toes, but freezing everywhere else. Just a matter of staying calm now.
Minutes.
So I'm good?
We're good.
Oh! Not moving very quickly. Woo. 20 minutes. So the come down's actually my least favourite bit. It will, since I was in there for about 20 minutes, it's probably going to take me at least 20 minutes to come down to a point where I stop shivering. And then it might even take like half an hour to an hour before I feel like I'm back to a regular temperature. So looking forward to the next 30 minutes. So I'm finally warmed up and dressed after my 30-minute ice bath. 30 minutes was never my goal when I started this. My goal was actually 12 minutes, and then it turned into 15 minutes, and then it turned into 20 minutes, and then it kind of turned into 30 minutes as of yesterday. Even though this wasn't as dramatic as the 20-minute one that I did yesterday, I wanted to show how important it is that you challenge yourself when no one's around. When there's no external influences, it's just as important as when everyone's around and cheering you on. That 30 minutes was one of the hardest 30 minutes of my life, and I essentially did it all by myself. It was me, myself and I, and the ice bath, but it was an incredible experience. I've never ever been that cold before. That marks the official last ice bath of the month. Let's get into the summaries. So after 31 days of daily ice baths, let's get into the pros and cons. First, we'll go through the pros. The biggest pro, and something I want to touch on again, is the experience itself. The feeling I get when I'm in the bath is amazing, and the art of staying calm and just feeling the cold is very euphoric and meditative. The feeling is hard to explain, but it's definitely some sort of high you get from being in the ice bath. The next thing, depending on the time of the day you had the ice bath, it can improve your sleep. If you have your ice bath first thing in the morning or late at night, you're essentially setting your body's circadian rhythm or sleep clock. This is telling your body what time of day it is, because generally it's colder in the mornings than at night, which means your body's going to be more ready to go to bed when it's time to go to bed. I found there were far less episodes of road rage, and my feeling of stress was just reduced throughout the month. The pro that's probably the most obvious is mental resilience. The thought that I could be in an extreme temperature and stay calm made every other task throughout the day seem simple. Finally, a bit of an unexpected one, but it's a great group activity. I found it so fun to have all my mates around and just see how much each person can endure in the extreme cold. Now for some cons. It hurts. Sometimes when I was in there, I wouldn't know whether I was going to go into some sort of hypothermic shock just because it was hurting so much. Now it's probably not going to happen, but it's always a good idea to have someone watching you when you're going for them lengthy holds. It can also be very inconvenient and expensive. If you're like me and live in a place where it's a warmer climate and it's a bit harder to get the cold exposure, buying 6 ice bags and putting them in like a regular ice bath isn't very sustainable. Even the chest freezer cost me about $400, so it's not a cheap exercise. The last con I want to go through is the water usage. Now obviously the water that I'm using for this in the scheme of things probably isn't that much, and I'm only changing the water about every 4 weeks, but it's still not the best thing for the environment. So again, it's something to think about. All in all, this is an extremely enjoyable experience. I'm going to continue to do regular ice baths, although I'm going to reduce the frequency to probably about 3 days a week and maybe 10-minute sessions. I'm definitely in no rush to go and do another 30-minute hold. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for some later videos. Enjoy your ice baths, and I'll see you next time.